Delver, but 3 blue-white decks. You gotta cheer for the hero that we like. What is it? The hero we need, or the hero we deserve?
Yes, the hero we deserve, indeed.
And I think their match is about to get started. Looks like they each want to draw 8 cards.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We draw
8.
Oh no.
We draw 8.
We draw 8.
We don't draw 8.
We don't draw 8. 7.
A gentleman's agreement to 8 cards? No? Alrighty.
Both just pass?
Yeah.
I'll pass if you pass.
As we have Brian on the play here, and he's going to start with a Diagraphical. Now, in this matchup, as we have seen in the past, Patrick, it's really very important for the Zombies player to get off to early aggression.
Absolutely.
You know, if they start with a 1-drop and then 2 more 1-drops, it's very difficult for the Delver player to really come back from that, especially in game 1. They don't have the tools, they don't have Celestial Purge, they don't have the timing reinforcements at that point, as we are just going to see a Sign in Blood here from Brian. I think you would classify this as a pretty good start, not a great one, given the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, the Diagraph goal on turn 1 is exactly where he wants to be. But it'd be nice if he put a little bit more pressure down, because this is such a tempo-oriented matchup.
As we see Delver not flipping for Ross just yet, he's going to serve from 1, put Brian down to 17 now.
See, I respect these Zendikar Swamps on the left, but I don't know if I can get behind Mirage Islands. I mean, it's not bad.
You're an old school guy. You
Yeah.
like Mirage Islands?
Nah. Mirage Islands are like a worse beta island, if you ask me. At least they're not revised. So we've got land number 3 from Brian.
Messenger time. Just a murder.
Wow, is this a main phase murder?
This is main phase murder. It's a little bit surprising.
Is he baiting the mana leak? Is he basically taunting him? Like, I want you to mana leak this. I have stuff in my hand that is so good. I want you to do it.
That's kind of what it feels like.
Wow. Doesn't even wait, because if he waits to Ross's turn, he gets to see. He just flips again.
Yeah, he gets to see if it's going to flip. You know, if he wants to tap out on his turn to mana leak it.
Alright, Blade Splicer.
Golem token incoming.
Presumably. I mean, it's legal to not. Not advisable.
But
not
legal.
Likely. Yeah. Alright. Both players playing at a pretty snappy pace here. Looks like a Flames of the Firebrand.
That can take care of the Golem token, and it's about to.
And that allows Brian to continue making forward progress. Ooh. Or maybe not.
Mutagenic Growth has other ideas. The one of in Ross's deck. They're for a reason, and quite the blowout in this particular board state.
Man.
And now a Gravecrawler.
Man. That murder looking a little premature.
Yeah, that Mutagenic Growth was a huge deal. Now Ross has, you know, he's got a bit of a defense set up right now. Now he just wants to find a way to be able to capitalize off of what he's done.
Look at what you've done. And then capitalize on it.
We're gonna see the Golem coming on in. All right.
Yeah, we are. The beats continue. Ross representing Restoration Angel.
Yeah.
This is a fairly commanding position for Ross. That Mutagenic Growth was just an incredible tempo boost. Alright.
He's gonna Vapor Snag his own Blade Splicer and make another Golem.
Absolutely.
Worth the 1 life to you? Do you kind of like this?
Well worth it.
Yeah.
So even worth the Vapor Snag?
That's a good question.
Absolutely. I think that the 3/3s are better than cards in this matchup by a fair bit. Like 2/2 is like the baseline of what's going on. 3/3, particularly 3/3 first strike, is just a phenomenal thing, a phenomenal board presence. Now he's, you know, he's controlling the attack and the defense, and Brian's getting further and further behind. And this isn't like one of those zombie pod decks that can actually go big. Brian is supposed to be the aggressor here.
As we see, Blood Artist, which did resolve. The next Blood Artist it gets gut shotted, excuse me, in response to the other Blood Artist. So it's gonna deal Ross a total of 3 and gain Brian 1.
No. This is in oh yeah, just because there is 1 Blood Artist in play, right? Ross using his life total as a resource very well.
And there are no good attacks here.
Classic no attacks, no blocks.
A zombie special.
Blood Artist and Gravecrawler, I think, run the no attacks, no blocks more than most.
Here come the troops.
Wow, even Blade Splicer. could not be telegraphing Restoration Angel harder.
I'm not afraid.
Or Vapor Snag, actually, for that matter.
To take a stand. It's an interesting attack. Okay. Feels like Restoration Angel. Yeah, okay. Easy enough. I knew we see it. His last card in Ross's hand is Snapcaster Mage. I didn't know if he had any shenanigans he wanted to pull with that.
And this is actually a tight play because waiting until Brian's turn to try to, you know, be all tricksy, too cute. It's too likely that a Blade Splicer could get killed in response with a Tragic Slip or something. This is just a smart, safe play.
As we see Brian draw another Blood Artist here. And now a third Blood Artist, so he's drawn all 4 this game.
So does he have the ability to combo off next turn? Oh no, he's not. He's gonna have to chump block so much this turn.
Yep.
Actually, not even that much, because he just needs to live through the attack phase.
Well, each chump block is
a drain for 3.
Yeah, as we see a Thought Scour. That was his last card. Okay. So Leak and Ponder go down. Let's see what Ross is able to pull here.
Yeah, I mean, like, Brian is certainly not out of it. The 3 Blood Artists make it so that he could potentially just drain Ross all the way out. You know, he doesn't have Killing Wave or anything like that, but if he flames the Firebrands his 3 Blood Artists,
yeah, that's it.
That's a drain for 9 right there.
And now, when blocking for Ross is just a horrible idea. You know, to the effect of, like, blocking is so bad for us. I think maybe if I was Brian last turn, I would have gotten in there with a Diagraph Ghoul.
Well, I think he wants to block with the Diagraph Ghoul.
Okay.
That's the one he wants to chump with. Now, it may be that it was right to chump with the Blood Artist instead, but this way he can threaten to have the Diagraph Ghoul block the Blade Splicer and a Blood Artist chump if the Blade Splicer attacks, and if the Blade Splicer doesn't attack, then the Diagraph Ghoul could block.
Gotcha.
But 3 Blood Artists in play means Brian is certainly very live. I mean, a Falconwrath Aristocrat is, you know, that's just devastating.
That makes it a wrap, yeah. So this is a big ponder here from Ross. We can't really quite tell what he's looking at, but he is thinking quite a while on it, trying to figure out a way to get through this wall of Blood Artiste. He's gonna keep it.
Because he can't just attack with all his guys, right?
Yeah.
Actually, the fact that he can't attack with all his guys, I think you're right. I think he should have just swung with the Diagraph Ghoul. Like, he has no profitable attacks on the ground.
Yeah, the problem is...
I think you're right.
Like, the problem is that the guys have... The golems have first strike.
Yeah.
So...
They'll kill Brian. Or they'll kill Ross, you know, too fast to do any damage.
Now, Ross's attack moved Brian down to 6, and assuming that he has an instant to reveal to Delver, it's going to kill him in the air.
Yep. I wonder if that Diagraph Ghoul had attacked, Ross would be at 6. Now he could attack for 2. I guess that just makes Sign and Blood an additional kill, but we don't know what's in Brian's hand. The fact that Ross kept, though, but maybe that's what he was agonizing about, is that he kept, knowing his Delver wasn't going to flip.
Knowing that it can't flip, yeah. But again, without the attacks of the Diagraph Ghoul, you know, he's only pushing through 2 a turn.
Man, if he had just, like, he would have him lethal next turn if he had just...
Because even now, if he attacks with both next turn, he's just like, all right, go to 2. Like, if you have a removal spell or something, I couldn't beat that anyway. If you have a Sign in Blood, I guess I'm dead.
Yeah, I think Brian's playing too conservative here. I think you're absolutely right.
He's moving the lands over. Makes me feel like he has another one.
Man.
And this one again.
I think at this point he realizes he's 1 turn behind where he needs to be.
This is gonna move Ross down to 4.
Oh no!
You know that. You know that feeling. Looking at the Blood Artist, counting.
I mean, he's dead to anything, right?
Yeah, like almost anything. As we see a Phyrexian Metamorph. This is going to put Brian down to 1. What are we gonna
copy the Restoration Angel
here? Snapcaster Mage is going to
Vapor Snag.
Vapor Snag.
That's the game. Man.
Yeah.
He needed to push all in.
That's it.
He needed to be attacking with both. Intense game.
So Ross Merriam up a game. Very close game indeed. With Blue White Delver over Brian playing Black Red Zombies.
What's Ross got in the sideboard?
Well, I think we are moving this way. It's question time. We gotta give away premium. Is it me or you?
It's on you, man.
It's on
the
me.
last one.
All right. I've never been good at this.
All right, I got
But
one.
no,
instead.
but I've got one. I've got one. All right. Here we go. In Brian's zombie stack, he has one copy of Removal Spell in his deck that is not really seen very often in a zombie stack list. And if you know the name of that removal spell, I guess we can give him maybe a little hint how much mana it costs. Can I do that? I think that's fair. 3 mana. It's one of in his zombie stack. If you know the name of that removal spell, tweet it to hashtag SCG Premium, and you'll win 6 months. 6 months of premium from Star City Games. So again, the question is, in Brian Siemens' Zombies deck list, he has one. He has a copy of Removal Spell in his deck. It costs 3 mana. That's the most hints that I am going to give you. I can't really speak.
I'm not going to give you any.
I can't speak for him. But if you do know the answer to that question, hashtag SCG Premium, and you will win 6 months of Star City Games Premium. You can read some of his finest articles. Brian Kibler, Jerry Thompson.
You can read some of my less fine articles too if you want.
You can do that if you'd like to.
Open door.
Yeah, it's all available to you. So
at SCG Live, hashtag SCG Premium.
Indeed. Now, looking over the sideboards here, Ross's sideboard, 3 purges are the most important. You're also going to find 1 timely reinforcements. You're also going to find 2 spell skites. I think those are going to be the most important cards here. He could board in an additional mutagenic growth because the first one was so good that particular game, or he may not. But I see 3 celestial purges, 1 time reinforcements is 4 cards, 2 spell skites is going to make it up to 6. And for my friend Brian on the left,
Brian, he's looking at. I mean, this Go for the Throat and Doomblade, I think, are the items number 1 and 2. But beyond that, like, I mean, there 2 Runechanter's Pikes and a Blade Splicer, I don't think is enough of a reason to want to go to Smelt. You want to stay very proactive. Surgical Extraction is a tough one to see if he actually brings in, because there's people who are just religiously devoted to bringing it in all the time anyway, just to Mize. But then there's other people who only bring it in against Reanimator. So I personally don't love it here, but people who play Surgical Extraction are usually the type. I'm not even, like, I think just the 2 Lilianas to give him more protection against Geist Saint Draft, the Go for the Throat and the Doomblade, might be the extent of it.
and I definitely like Liliana again on the play versus on the draw, especially in this matchup. So I wouldn't be surprised to see those come in.
Yeah, so just the 2 Lilianas, the Go for the Throat and the Doomblade.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's I think that is the extent of it. Obliterator is too risky of a play against Celestial Purge.
Yeah.
And Pillar of Flame it's fine. Like, it might be a slight upgrade over some of the other stuff, particularly after being traumatized by the mutagenic growth last round. I could see him not wanting to go deeper into it.
Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. You know, typically, game 1 is a game that is important for Zombies to win in this matchup, because now he's kind of got an uphill battle against all these Celestial Purges, the Time Reinforcements, the Spell Skites, just all the hate cards that Delver decks typically do pack. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be able to take the next 2 games, where game 1 they're typically a favorite and they are able
Game
to
1
dodge
is
those
supposed to be
cards.
the easy one, right?
Yes, they're able to dodge
Easy
those
quote,
cards.
quote, end quote, but
Air quote.
right, the Celestial, or quotes as they say in the industry.
Sure.
Like, Celestial Purge makes the free roll over.
But being on the play is a big deal here, so.
What do you think about the recent move towards more decisions about play draw being decided by who had the better record in Swiss?
I'm a big fan of that. It gives people incentive to play out the last rounds, you know, maybe not double draw, especially with a deck like Delver and a deck like Black Red Zombies, and most of the decks in Standard, where it is pretty important to be on the play. I think it incentivizes people to want to keep playing and play first. So I'm a fan. Yourself?
Yeah, seems pretty sweet. Being on the player of the draw, being decided by something other than a coin flip. I mean, I'm generally in favor of all that kind of stuff. Plus, I'd like to see more matches played out, you know?
Yeah, me too.
So, only 14 minutes in, but already we're to game 2. The standard format has many things, but it's not particularly slow and grueling, that's for sure.
Yeah, the games are pretty fast.
And that was a good match, and that was a good game. That game could have gone either way. Like, it was intense. There's a lot of moving parts that had to be factored in, you know? What do you think about Falkenrath Aristocrat's future in Standard? That's a card that has been generating a lot of buzz in the last couple of days.
I see it being a pretty important card moving forward, depending on what Rakdos is going to get from its guild. But just overall, I mean, it's a very powerful card, very aggressive card. And I know that, you know, it has some intricacies as far as combos go because of the sacrificing of the sacrifice of a human ability, or sacrificing any creature, of course. But I think it has a lot of depth to it. It's just not purely going to be a card that is in aggressive black-red decks. It can find homes other places. I know that, I believe it was in Barcelona, Shota Yasuka was playing that kind of reanimator deck.
The human, yeah.
The human reanimator deck, yeah. And then Falkenrath Aristocrat was the card that was able to enable the kind of combo loop. And that's just kind of one of the places that it can find a home where there's no other card that really does what it does. So it'll be interesting.
We're about to get underway here. Both players surveying their hands, surely going to keep. Brian
Surely
looks dejected. Not so
surely
sure
going to keep, he says. Ooh.
No, he can't do it. That was the look of a man who's got his mana,
Ross
and he's got some removal spells, but no creatures.
Okay. Ross always trying to put his cards up to the camera for people to see, but all we see is the tips of them. So we never actually get to see the hand.
Just the tips.
But it's the effort. It's the effort that counts.
I like where his heart's at, you know?
Oh.
So Brian, feeling the weight of being down a game, mulliganing to 6. But, a very aggressive draw, you know. Turn 1, Gravecrawler, Deergraph Ghoul. Turn 2, another creature with a cheap removal spell.
That's all it takes.
It's tough, because these zombie decks, the way that this is set up, I mean, it's nice to have that Blood Artist, Falkenrath Aristocrat endgame, but with no legit 2-drops, there's less consistent early game pressure, you know? Like, he's got 10 1-drops and no 2-drops with any power. There are a lot of games where he just does not open up with a super aggressive clock, you know?
And Sign in Blood is doing like a nice job of filling in the 2-drop, but again, it's not a creature.
It's no Walking Corpse.
Yeah. I mean, Walking Corpse isn't great, but I mean, it serves a purpose, of course. So, I understand where you're coming from.
Alright.
Then again, what is Walking Corpse?
The biggest beatdown ever.
It's the excellence of execution.
Snapkeep or Snapkeep?
He's shaking his head no to you.
No. Don't shake your head no to me. Oh, that's the 6-card keep that can't possibly win. You know the type.
I've kept one in my day. Alright, Ross is going to start. So we're going to find out exactly what it is.
Gitaxian Probe reveals terrible keep. Not really, this hand looks nice.
Yeah, this hand is fine.
It's a Gravecrawler?
It's a Gravecrawler, a Diregraph Ghoul, I believe. Yeah, so Diregraph
Go for the throat and
throat.
Oh, so you're talking about the actual nuts.
Yeah, this hand is perfectly reasonable.
Yeah,
especially
if
his next land comes into play untapped. Brian trying for the sell job, but Gitaxian Probes, as we see a ponder from Ross, will not allow it.
I think you should only have like 7 seconds to resolve a ponder. Keep the intensity. Keep the blood pumping. Keep us on the edge of our seats.
What should the time limit be for Sensei's Divining Top?
7 seconds total.
Okay.
You have 7 seconds to use Sensei's Divining Top over the course of the game.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And the second land does come into play on tap. Mental misstep there on the Diagraph Ghoul. So it's just a Gravecrawler. And he's upset. Arr, I wanted that. Arr. Ross with Thought Scour. Clear some of this away. Restoration Angel Island to the bin.
Now let's clear it away.
Another Gitaxian Probe. And a Hardcast Probe this time. Seeing cards
And we have
here,
confirmation. Ross now has Threshold.
He's there.
It's the second turn.
Nimble Mongoose, where are you, my friend? In for 2, knocking Ross down to 14. And we're going to see a Sign in Blood from Brian. Not a bad draw, actually. Drawing him a Flames of the Firebrand and a Blackcliff Cleaves.
Yet another Ponder.
1, 2, 3,
Spellskite,
4,
Delver, and a land.
5, 6. Longer than 7 seconds, Patrick.
Yeah.
What should we do?
Execution.
A stern talking to after the match.
Finish him.
The question here is, does Ross have a third land?
Well,
Can't really tell.
the top of his deck has that land that he wants.
Okay. Looks like he has a Timely Reinforcements hanging out in his hand too. There's a Delver's Secrets. He also has a Celestial Purge in there. We see another Blackcliff Cleaves drawn there for Brian.
Mortar Pod?
Looks to be that way.
Taste it?
Take care of the Delver. Mutagenic Growth is here again.
We've seen this stance before.
Working overtime for Ross this match.
Dude, get in there with the Gravecrawler. Do not be scared. Do not be scared. Get in there with the Gravecrawler. Do not be scared. He won't block. He won't block. He won't.
He thinks otherwise.
Shots.
He thinks otherwise.
Spellskite. What are the odds? Now it's interesting that Flames of the Firebrand can actually dodge Spellskite by dealing 1 to the Delver, and but now Spellskite redirects things with it can redirect things with multiple targets, right? It just can't redirect things that are already targeting it.
Yes.
So you do 1 to the Spellskite, 1 to the Delver, and 1 to Ross's face.
Correct. We'll see.
Well, really, you just attack with the Gravecrawler first, see if he blocks with the Spellskite.
That's true too. As we
She
see,
will.
Dross Messenger here. So this could potentially turn some things around here for Brian. See a draw, another Delver. Delver's not flipping. Celestial Purges are happening right now, though. He's not even going to give him a chance to move that to a Mortar Pod.
Be nice to have waited until one could move the Mortar Pod over to the Dross Messenger when they play it next turn, you know?
Yeah, keep yourself a little safe. You see another Gravecrawler drawn. And then again.
You gotta attack the Gravecrawler, man. There we go.
Here he comes.
Alright. Now, Flames 2-1.
Right, so
Does.
that's going to clear some of that stuff up. And then we can move this. We see it go for the throat.
God, I think that's just so hasty. You've got the machine gun set up. Save the go for the throat for the Restoration Angel.
Yeah. He has the Mortar Pod right there. I would, as we see a Geist of St. Traff now.
Or the save the go for the throat for the Angel token just to buy yourself some time. Alright, draws the Metamorph. This game is going very well for Brian. He's, even with the Vapor Snag bouncing back, Ross's life total is so low, particularly now that Brian drops another Gravecrawler. I mean, he's got Ross on the 2-turn clock, and Ross is, it'd be optimistic to get him to 4.
We see another Gravecrawler here, and an attack for 2.
This is even a 1-turn clock just because of the threat of Mortar Pod if he draws a land, you know?
Brian is...
No, he doesn't even need the land. He's gotten down to 7. This is... I think from that position, Ross couldn't even afford to Vapor Snag his Geist. He doesn't have that kind of time.
Yeah. Just let it be used as a removal spell and just kind of move on.
Yep.
Now he's just going to pass back.
Yeah, this is a Rizzy.
Brian really turned this game around after his mulligan. So we're going to see a Snapcaster Mage here. Celestial Purge is likely going to be our target. Yep.
Taking down one of the Grave Crawlers. Blocking another. The Metamorph version that can't come back.
And this is going to move Ross down to 5.
I think that's why you got to move the Mortar Pod to the Metamorph.
Pre-combat.
This doesn't really matter, but...
Another Sign in Blood here from Brian.
Oh, no, you move the Mortar Pod to one of the Grave Crawlers. That, yeah, just moving it to one of the Grave Crawlers. But it doesn't matter. We got 2 more coming. This one's a done data.
We're going to equip it to the Mortar Pod, and we're going to pass it over. See what Ross can draw. There's an island for him.
Unlikely that 5th land is what he needed from this position.
So you guys are saying Traft, and he's just going to pass back. Fume Spitter.
So attack with both.
Bink. Okay. So he's going to take 2, he's going to go down to 3.
Brian could have won on the spot here by Mortar Potting Ross for 1 instead of letting it kill the Geist. And then move the Mortar Pot over to the Grave Crawler, bring back a Grave Crawler, shoot again, and move to the other Grave Crawler and shoot again.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to give Ross 1 extra turn.
But all he can really do is draw timely reinforcements to try to buy himself 1 more turn. But I suppose if he goes timely, and then Snapcaster the timely, like maybe he could make progress.
Yeah, a little runner. But at the end of the day, Brian is going to take down that game. So Ross is going to be on the play for game number 3.
The deciding game between Black-Red Zombies and Blue-White Delver. Don't think we're really going to see too much different for game 3. I mean, obviously Brian hoping to draw 7, but if you got to keep 6, that is the 6 to keep. Meanwhile, Sam Pardee won 2 games to 0, meaning that Blue-White midrange, Delverless Delver, has advanced. We will have at least 1 deck with no Delver Secrets in the finals.
Can't be unhappy about that, right?
Well, I mean, it's got basically, oh, I love it. You take out the 4 Delver Secrets, replace it with a Consecrated Sphinx, 2 Gideon Juras, and a Twisted Image. I love that. Although he's also got Tamiel the Moon Sage and Day of Judgment. So this is definitely a blue-white deck that is riding the line between Delver with Blade Displacer, Restoration Angel, Snapcaster, and so on, and blue-white control with the Sphinx, the Planeswalkers, and the Day of Judgment.
I'm interested to see how his deck plays in the finals of this tournament for sure.
Man, that Twisted Fate is, the Twisted Image I think is a real nice one versus Blood Artist.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If it comes to that, you know, if Brian advances to the finals to meet him.
As we see the sideboards for both players on the screen. A nice new feature I actually like quite a bit. Very cool. Gives you guys the information at home instead of us reading it over to you. Those are the options available to the guys for the match. Once again, Patrick and I don't think too much is going to change in the sideboard games. I don't think either player reached back for their sideboard.
Well, you know, it's too early in the morning for that kind of posturing. Let's just get down to the business here.
Either you beat me down or I beat you down.
Like, come on, man. Let's drop the pretense. You know what time it is. And this is Southern California. We're in LA.
Not that I do things in LA.
Yeah. California knows how to party, that's for sure. Man, can you believe it? This is the 20th year of Magic tournaments.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
Gen Con was the 19th birthday of Magic.
Okay.
And we're past Gen Con. Like, we're now working on the 20th year. It isn't Magic's 20th birthday yet, but this is its, you know, this is its actual 20th year since it was released. That's not even counting, you know, Garfield and Scaff and Lynn and all them playing it, you know, before it was released, developing it for a few years.
That's wild.
Yeah, I know. Dude, there are a number of people on the Pro Tour that are not 20 years old. That is a beautiful thing to see how far Magic has come.
That is wild. My goodness.
I still remember playing against Josh Ledika. We were playing a match and he was talking a little bit of trash. You know,
oh, Josh? No.
Yeah, he's talking a little bit of trash, beating me down with a Curd Ape, and talking about how I don't know anything about this. You know, I don't know anything about Curd Ape. And I pointed out to him that I was playing Curd Ape when he was in diapers. And then he did the math and realized I was actually right.
Oh, Joshy Washy.
Shout out to Josh Ledika.
It's been a while since I've seen the old boy.
Isn't he? He's holding down Chicago right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Good for him.
I believe a DePaul graduate. We're close to.
Good for him.
See both players fanning out their opening sevens. Considering. Can't tell if Ross likes this hand or not. I think maybe Ross. Actually, I think Ross may like his hand. I think Brian is the one. Yeah. Ross has kept.
I'm sorry, is this a keep or a sneep?
I think this is a sneep, as they say. Brian is taking a trip to Paris.
But you know what? It worked out for him last time.
Yeah, like it was
so
nothing.
good on him.
And he's on the draw this game, so it's just like a freebie. Isn't that how it works?
I mean, it's not how it works, but it is certainly not how it works. So, instead of visualizing 2 Blackcleave Cliffs, 2 Grave Crawlers, a Deergraph Ghoul, and a removal spell, Brian instead dejected, imagining the excruciating pain that he's going to be suffering as a result of what is sure to be a turn 1 Delver, turn 2 Ponder, revealed to the Delver.
Of course.
You know how these things go. That's how the story ends.
Oh, I've done quite
It's
a bit
a tragedy.
of
It's it's certainly not a comedy.
All right.
Visualize those Blackcleave Cliffs. See the Grave Crawlers and Deergraph Ghouls entering your hand. That's not
this lean. Hey, this lean happened last game. This exact lean happened.
No, look, he's shaking his head. Oh.
This didn't happen. This did not happen last time.
Is this 1 land double Geralf's Messenger?
Do you think this is posturing?
No, but I do think he's like, can I keep this 1 land? No 1-drop hand? Like, is this real? Is this real life? Is this happening? I think he's gonna keep. It's a mathematical keep. The math is probably wrong. I think he's gonna keep, and I think he's gonna win. I think Ross is gonna win, but
all right, he's elected to keep it.
And if this is posturing, good on him.
It's the best posturing. All right, there's a
land.
land.
He draws a land. All right.
Swamp. So I see 3 lands over there. We have Thought Scour.
He's got plenty of land.
Delver.
Does he just have a grip full of Ravenous Rats?
If he has Ravenous Rats, we have to call a judge. Flavor judge.
Oh, it's the old board.
All right, here we
curve.
go. No, it's the Gataxian Probe. I'm gonna find out right now.
Yeah. Drawing that land was clutch.
Yes. As we see his opening hand. Well, we'll see his hand now.
So the reason it's so awkward is he's got the caverns that he needs to name for the messenger, meaning he's miles from the Falkenrath Aristocrat until he drew that land.
Yeah.
I love it. This is a nice little Golgari.
Yeah, what ended up happening is that his first draw step was Dragon Skull Summon, so he didn't have the red, and now he has it.
Yeah, Ross is probably like, look, dude, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, buddy.
Come on, man. Like, I know you don't have a 1-drop, but this is a totally serviceable setup. Like, your operation over here is well-oiled machine style.
So we see Ross's Ponder has a Delver of Secrets, a Snapcaster Mage, and a Celestial Purge. So that's
a nice little...
that's a good Ponder.
Yeah, this is just a matter of what order you want to put these bad boys.
But I see a Plains in Ross's hand.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he has another blue source to be able to play the Delver this turn, reveal the Purge, all that jazz. The old singular planes. This isn't the first time we've seen it come back to bite someone today.
No, it can bite. I think his 7 seconds are up. Maybe if we just hook it to like a taser up to him. Like you take 7 seconds, like, you know.
That's where they were going when they were. This is his 20th anniversary, close
Yes,
to.
dude.
So we can make some changes.
Dude, don't tank on me, bro.
He is.
He's looking at that planes like a guy who's gonna play it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That means he does not have a third land. That's what that means. So we have this.
You gosh darn right he doesn't.
Yeah. We have Fume Spitter here.
You know, honestly, I think Foam Spitter was just about the best thing you could have in that position.
And we see a mental misstep for that.
Paying the 2.
All right, so this is going to be an upkeep Thought Scour. All right, so he's going to want to clear these guys away. Delver and Snapcaster gone. He's going to draw a Glacial Fortress,
There
not
you go.
bad, and
Not
then
bad.
a Island. All right, so he's turned on now,
If you know what I mean.
which I do.
Brian draws. Oh, perfect. It's another land. That's exactly what he needed.
We're playing Magic.
Drops Messenger.
Ross Messenger.
Can't be mana leaked.
Going to knock Ross down to 14.
You know, honestly, I'm really liking Brian's chances here. I mean, obviously it depends. Ross has got a lot of counterplay, and Brian's going to need to still draw a couple more things to get this going. A couple angels could start sitting in behind, but
Well, this can turn things in a hurry.
it can. I still think Brian wins the race, but it depends on what kind of interaction. Although that Snapcaster in Ross's hand is going to be huge.
And he also has a Vapor Snag too, so if Brian were to tap out this turn for Falkenrath Aristocrat, it's going back to the hand.
Oh. I think you're supposed to play the Cavern so that it's uncounterable. It doesn't matter here, but
We're going to see a Messenger.
Yeah.
We're going to see a Dross Messenger.
playing around the Vapor Snag, I love it.
Oh, he doesn't mind.
Still playing around it. Much better to do that than play the Aristocrat, that's for sure.
That's true. Ross going to go down to 12. Brian's going down to 19. We're going to see a 6-point chunk here in just a second.
So 2 Guess Verdicts, 2 Metamorphs, and 2 Lilianas, his 6 answers to the Geist. Outside of, obviously, you know, Le Blackaroo.
So there's your Cavern. There's our Metamorph.
I like it. This is just gonna be a snag though, right?
I think this is just going to be a snag of the Geist.
Yeah,
think so.
This is just snag is super effective.
We saw him do this last game, and it wasn't nearly as effective as it's going to be right now if he chooses to do it.
Yeah, because he had another copy.
Yeah.
Now, if he snags the Geist in response, that Metamorph is going straight to the bin.
And this could also be a case of, do I want to use Snapcaster and bounce it that way, or do I just want to use a singular copy? I think he wants to wait on Snapcaster. But again, as we're going to see the snag.
Yeah, because he doesn't want the Snapcaster Mage sitting in play.
Yeah.
Because the last thing he wants is to have the Metamorph stay as a 2/1.
That's true. Ponder drawn.
Man, Ross firing on all cylinders here.
Good clean living.
Whew. 2 more
I
Snapcasters?
think that's it. I mean, that's at least, that's a Snapcaster, a Thought Scour, and a Moorland Haunt.
Alright, well that's looking real good for Ross. Brian gave him a fight, but the momentum is quickly moving in Ross's direction.
I think he's got it how he wants it. He's going to draw the Moorland Haunt. We're going to see the Geist. And there we go. Back in the situation yet again. So let's see what Brian can do now.
Play a land, I mean, does he have to actually just keep the Aristocrat home? I mean, that's obviously a tough way to do it, but I mean, is that where we're at? No, he plays the Messenger.
He plays Messenger, knocking Ross down to 11.
Now, Ross has Snapcaster Mage, so he can hit that Celestial Purge, right?
Yep.
So, go for the throat out of Brian, being able to target the Messenger. Oh, it's Doomblade, not go for the throat.
Okay.
Ouch. Man, if that would have been go for the throat. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. The Messenger just come back tapped anyway. So Brian cashes in the Doomblade, gets a 4-point life swing.
So we've got the players tied at 11 here. And he's just going to pass back. See a land here. I believe we're going to see our Falkenrath Aristocrat join the party.
Still a tough spot, though. So now, do you think we're going to see a Celestial Purge in response?
I do believe that's what we're going to see. See a Snapcaster Mage. I'm going to see him bounce that because he has already played a land.
Wow.
And this way, yeah, this way he can make a token too. So he makes a token. If he wants to attack with it, he makes a Spirit token and then can trade with the Aristocrat. Could use some mana for the turn. Are you thinking you should have purged it?
No, I think it's totally reasonable playing the defensive position here. Like, Ross has got him down to such a low life total. He surely has the game plan in mind that he wants, you know. He knows he has another Snapcaster anyway. So, like, after he makes the token, that'll be 9 damage on the table. If he snags the Falkenrath Aristocrat, Brian actually is going to have to sack it in response.
Yep.
So, I think this game is all but over. Not too much left to do but the crying.
And we're going to see a Snapcaster Mage here.
And this does it as well. By Snapcastering, this is even better. By Snapcastering the Aristocrat, now he's actually presenting 10 on the table.
Yep. Brian's going to go down to 9, and then that's going to be lethal. He's going to draw his cards, serve in with the Angel.
The match.
That's it. Ross Merriam
advancing to the finals.
On his way to the finals with his blue-white Delver deck that he is known for playing. Has one title with it, going for a second one here in Los Angeles, taking down Brian Siemens 2-1.